present in the data extension. So now how system will detect if a file is received or not? There is a functionality inside Salesforce Marketing Cloud which is known as file drop automations, or you can say triggered automations. File drop automations are different from the scheduled automations. Scheduled automations, you have to set a time when it has to run. In scheduled automation, you have to define when it should reoccur, how frequently it should reoccur, whether it should reoccur every day, every night, every 2 days, every week, every month, every year, that you have to set. But file drop automations are different type of automations where it triggers automatically if it detects a file is dropped on an SFTP folder. So when you drop a file on an SFTP folder, the automation detects that file and imports it on the go. Not imports it, starts the automation on the go. Let's discuss with an example. We will go to Automation Studio. Once we go to Automation Studio, we will click on New Automation. And we have Schedule, and the other automation we have is File Drop. We will drag and drop File Drop automation here. Click on Configure option. Let automation detect a file with a file naming pattern. Let automation detect a file with file naming pattern. File naming pattern means you are defining that start automation whenever a file with this name is dropped. There can be plenty of files which can be dropped on the SFTP folder. You are specifying it that when this particular file is dropped on the SFTP folder, then only you start the automation. Suppose the file which we are going to drop contains new batch profiles. Any name can be there of a file. For example, we exported a file from our data extension. Okay, this is the file name. So what you are telling is start an automation if any file contains name new batch subscriber profile. New batch subscriber profile, and detect if it is dropped inside import folder. Start the automation whenever a file contains this name. Name can be any, but this should be contained inside that file name and is dropped inside the import folder. Then only start the automation. And when it starts, we can have activities to perform. Let's suppose we get a wait activity here. Whenever automation starts, it goes on a minute wait. Whenever automation starts, it goes on a minute wait. Now let's define the name of the automation. New batch file drop automation. Click on save. Save this. Once you save this, activate the automation. Now this automation is not scheduled. There is no recurring property defined for this automation. It detects whenever you drop a file. If you drop a file 100 times a day, it will detect 100 times and run 100 times. If you not at all drop a file for a few days, it won't bother to run. But it is a special kind of automation which detects if a file is dropped inside the import folder of an SFTP. So now let's try. We have this import folder on the SFTP. We will open this import folder and we have this backup of our file. We will drag and drop inside the import folder. I am dropping it manually, but while you are working for enterprise, this transfer can be a programmatic way, which we don't have to worry. We just have to see how other party sends the file to us. So once we drop the file, the import is successful within the SFTP. As the import is successful within the SFTP, in some times this automation should detect that file and should start running. So you see that the automation has detected that the file is dropped and it has started to run. And what it is doing is it went for a minute wait. So we have successfully satisfied first condition, if it can detect a file or not. Using a file drop automation, an automation can detect. Now the second condition of this project is import the file to the data extension. So once a file is dropped, it has to import to the data extension as well. We have made this data extension empty and we will try to import the file using automation. So to import a file using automation, we will use import activity. What we will use? We will use import file activity. So here you see data copy or import activity. Inside this import activity, we have to create a new import activity. New batch import is the name. Send email notification if there is any error to the import process. You will be notified via email. Click next. It is asking from where you have to import the data. Our data is present at a file location present in SFTP. Our data is present at a file location present in SFTP. What is that file location? That file location is SFTP import folder. That file location is SFTP import folder. What is the name of the file present? The name of the file present is this. This file, it has to import from the SFTP, followed by .csv, because import supports txt or csv. So you have to define the file extension. Whenever the moment you wrote this file name, system told that a file matching this pattern currently exists at file location. That means it is correctly pointing to the correct location. Click on next option. Now once it detects a file on the SFTP, the next thing is it has to import the file to a data extension. So select the data extension. Our data extension where we have to import the file is new batch profile. Click next option, add, update, override, whatever it is. Okay, click next and click finish. So what we have done, we have created an automation. Whenever the file is imported on the SFTP, first the file drop automation detects that import, and the second thing is it imports the file inside this data extension. Now let's try to drop our file again on the import folder. Let's try to drop the file again. We will drag and drop this file. Once we drag and drop this file, it says file transfer is successful. Now what automation should do? In some time, it should detect this import sequence and it should start importing the file. So it has detected the file and the import has started. So it says that import is successful. If we go and refresh the data extension, we will see that whatever records we cleared out are now back inside this data extension. And the next thing is we have to send an email for 20% off. So we will use Chat GPT. We will define the name of this email as welcome email. Click next. Drag and drop HTML. And we will save this email. Welcome new user. It says 20% off coupon. And inside this automation, the next activity which we can have is email send activity. Send email activity. We already know all the configurations. Sender profile, delivery profile. It is a commercial email, so we will have commercial sender profile. Click next option. Select the data extension. New batch subscriber profile. You can select publication list, submission list, whatever you want. Click on finish. So this is a complete automation. It imports the file and it sends the email. Now this is one use case of import activity where the file is a CSV file. Where the file is CSV file, you can directly